following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Main Street Media proudly welcomes you live to Chattanooga, site of the 2021 Blue Cross Bowl. This is TriStar Friday Night Live, presented by the U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. As we welcome you in live to Finley Stadium and the media workroom for day three. Gentlemen, day three of the Blue Cross Bowl Championships. 6 down, 3 to go. Had a couple of really good games yesterday, including last night. We'll get into all of that coming up in our Wilson Bacon Trust scoreboard. So stay tuned for that. We'll also preview the day 3 games. We've got 4A between Tullahoma and Elizabethton. We've got 2A between Hampton and Westview. And then, of course, the 6A championship tonight between Oakland and Summit. Both teams 14-0. We'll have a full preview coming up for that here in just a moment. But before we dive into it, gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back. Day 3. This is becoming a habit, and a good habit. I like this. Chattanooga's been good.
Chattanooga has been fun. I've had a good time.
Yep,
it has. It's been a heard nothing but good things about the venue, the site. It's certainly the weather.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The weather has been spectacular, to say the least. And we are extremely thankful for that. A little cloudy today. We've had wall-to-wall sunshine the first 2 days. Temperatures pushing 70 or a little above. Today, a little cloudy. Upper 60s, a little cooler than it's been, but no precipitation is expected. So that is a good thing as we look ahead to what we've got. But before we look ahead, gentlemen, we need to look back at what has happened before. And so let's get into our Wilson Bank and Trust scoreboard and see what has happened since we got here. Guys, we'll start on Thursday. It was Lipscomb Academy 27-0 over CPA, and they had laser focus since the game against CPA last year. Nothing slowed them down, and they took it to their rival Thursday in the D2 2A game on Thursday.
Yep, absolutely, and as expected, unfortunately, it wasn't nearly as good of a game as we were hoping for.
Yeah, I think we expected CPA to show a little bit better after that 38-0 loss in the regular season, and I mean, I guess they did. It was only 27-0.
Yeah.
Certainly, a couple of dominant performances in both those matchups by the Mustangs.
Yeah, no question about it. The D2 1A game saw another rematch from the regular season. DCA, Donaldson Christian Academy versus Nashville Christian Academy. DCA won the first game 7-3. Didn't have any troubles in the championship game Thursday. 31-7 the final as DCA gets the gold ball.
Yeah, and like you said, just absolutely dominant. We certainly did not see that one coming. I mean, we all thought that, one, Nashville Christian would make it a much better game. Two, we thought Nashville Christian would win, and we were wrong. But got to give it to Donaldson Christian, and the Wildcats did a great job. Take on the gold ball.
Yep, and then the D2 3A game saw McCallie. What a great home crowd they had. 28-7 over MBA. They get the win in the third straight for McCallie.
McCauley won this ball game in the trenches, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, because Marcel Reed never really had a chance all night Thursday night. Really had to get out of the pocket, abandon the pocket, and just couldn't make enough plays. And McCauley did. They had a couple of receivers that are going to play on Saturdays and perhaps beyond.
Yeah,
they had a really nice scheme on both sides of the ball, and it showed up in that 28-7 win.
Well-rounded team, McCauley, for sure. All right, looking back to Friday, the D1 3A game, Alcoa East Nashville, and it was Alcoa taking care of business 45-14, but it was close in the first quarter and into the second quarter. East Nashville showed up, but just Alcoa just on another level.
Alcoa's on another level. East Nashville, like you said, brought some energy early. If they could have caught a break or two early, I think it could have been a different ball game. But
they just don't shoot themselves in the foot early. I mean, the breaks went, the other way, but it was the fault of East Nashville. Unfortunately, they just, snapped the ball away and that sort of thing. It just unfortunate, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, and then the 1A game, South Pittsburgh McKenzie, 24-21. South Pitt got the win, and they had a joyous ride home back down to South Pitt. Had a little detour on their way back yesterday.
Yeah, driving through Jasper with the police sirens blowing and the lights flashing. I mean, to
the victors go the spoils, right?
There are fewer rivalries in high school football that will match that one.
There's I'm not aware of too many that have had books written about them. 7 Angry Miles, look it up.
Yep. So South Pitt with the win there, and then in the 5A game last night, Powell and Page. We thought it'd be a good one. It turned out to be a good one. But Powell was just too much in the end. 42-34, they get the win for their first Go Ball trophy.
Hey.
Snuck it in there for you.
Again, this guy.
Powell gets off to 21-0 lead. Page kind of had a bungle on a kickoff that fed into that. They rallied back because you knew they would, because they just did it last week against Henry County, but they just dug themselves too deep a hole, basically. But, it was a great ball game. Very entertaining ball game.
Still had a chance to score at the end to I guess, give themselves a chance to tie it as well. But just couldn't quite make that last throw complete. But Jake McNamara and Jordan Potts put on exactly the type of show that we were expecting from them.
They really did.
Yeah, they did. They both showed out and showed up for sure. All right, when we come back, we will look ahead to today's matchups. The 4A game, Elizabethton Tullahoma, Hampton and Westview in the 2A, and then the 6A Oakland Summit Classic coming up tonight. This is TriStar Friday Night Live, presented by the U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, live at the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay?
Tell me your name, sir. Where you are right now?
506 by 76
I am Dr. Birdie, the founder, CEO, and president at Home Care Preference. I am a successful African-American female entrepreneur in business with Wilson Bank and Trust. With the partnership that I have, the level of my dreams is the limit of that company's success. When there's strong partnership, everything is possible.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. thought I could hold my liquor.
Hey, Toby. Toby knows comfort, whether day or night. Through the highs and the lows, Toby knows. You've put it off long enough. That old system is just out with the old, in with the new. We'll make it worthwhile all the way through. Dairyberry is your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Visit DairyberryAC.com today and schedule a visit. Dairyberry Heat and Air, making customers for life.
TriStar Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by the U.S. Army. In the boots of a U.S. Army soldier, you'll move forward in your career and make a real difference in the world. Find the right fit with more than 150 occupational specialties. Learn more at usarmy.com. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, reminding you booze it and lose it. The bad decision to drive drunk will land you in jail. And by Wilson Bank and Trust. Visit wilsonbankandtrust.com for more details. Wilson Bank and Trust, proud supporter of high school sports.
Welcome back into the TriStar Friday Night Live at the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga, Tennessee. JP playing alongside the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and Chris Yao as we welcome you in. And it is time now for our Day 3 preview to look ahead at what we've got going on today. Gentlemen, first up, we will start with the 4A matchup, and that will feature Tullahoma and Elizabethton. Tullahoma, first championship game appearance for them. Another perfect regular season like last year, but they were able to get past the quarterfinals or into the semifinals, and they are coming in at 14-0, taking on the two-time reigning 4A champion. What are the keys to this one for both teams, gentlemen?
I think for Tullahoma is to not let this moment get too big, right? I mean, it's their first state championship game. Elizabethton has been here a couple of times the last 2 years, defending state champions. I think you just have to, again, let the moment come to you. Don't let it get too big for you.
From the Elizabethton side, Mo, they only have one loss this year, and that was to Greenville, their region rival. Greenville was just putting the beat down to everybody. Elizabethton had an opportunity in the quarterfinals and maybe shocked a few people and got the win. So reminding everybody that they are the reigning champs. So
yeah, and I think some people may have forgotten after they lost that game too.
We know a little something.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're back here, and they are the two-time defending state champions. And I fear, from a Tullahoma standpoint, that experience in this moment, as Chris alluded to, don't let the moment be too big for you. I don't think Elizabethton will have any problem with that. And I think that's going to be advantageous at some point during the course of the ball game. And so how quickly Tullahoma can get settled in, they can score first, something like that. I think it makes it easier on them to get their nerves settled and get their breath.
Yeah, on that note about settling in and the moment not too big, from the Tullahoma standpoint, Chris, how do you make that happen walking into this environment for the first time?
Well, this you have to treat this as another one of those top 10 matchups that you had 4 of in the regular season. You have to treat it like it's as big, that's the type of game you're going into. It's not any bigger than that because it's just as important. Those games are just as important as this one because you don't get to this one without winning those. So, I mean, you just have to take this, and yes, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, your local time. It's your routine is completely off.
Yeah.
You just have to understand that, look, when we start our routine, we can't deviate from what we've been doing. Just do what we do and take it slow. Don't let the adrenaline get to you and get overhyped.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that Tullahoma does have going in their favor is, like you said, they played in the largest region in the state. They played in a 19 region.
Mm-hmm.
9-team region, and they played some competition during the course of the regular season. Pearl Cone, Marshall County, folks like that.
Montgomery
Central. I mean,
yep.
so they faced teams over the course of the year that kind of got them ready for this, I think.
And then Haywood last week, who was undefeated coming in.
Yeah.
So.
And they took it to them last week.
They beat some teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat some teams. Speaking of that, we'll walk through the bracket, how each team got here. As I mentioned, Tullahoma defeating Haywood last week in the semis, 44-19. They defeated Pearl Cone 21-7 for a second time this year. Pearl Cone almost came back and beat them in the regular season. And Tullahoma made sure that didn't happen, 21-7 the final there. Another region opponent in the second round over Montgomery Central, 42-7. And then Chester County, 49-12 in the opening round. Meanwhile, Elizabethton, they took out Upperman last week, 23-6 in the semis. We talked about that Greenville win in the quarters, 13-7 the final there. Over Anderson County in the second round, 45-7. And then over Knox Carter, 47-14 in the first round to get to where we are today.
Well, I will say this. Sean Witten has been much more successful than his brother at the coaching ranks, and he is probably saying, hey, buddy, we're going to get you another one today, because Jason did not fare so well out at Argyle Liberty this year, 2-8. So Sean Witten, fantastic.
Little friendly rivalry around
I
the holidays.
I bet there is.
Family
Christmas should be interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you need to get
Sean showing off his rings.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the afternoon game, the 2A championship between Hampton and Westview. Hampton coming in 11-2, Westview 13-1. Kickoff scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central, and we got some star power as we do every game, but especially in this one, particularly for Westview.
Ty Simpson will be trying to get this one over in a hurry so he can catch the last of the SEC championship game, I guess.
He might be.
The Alabama commit at quarterback for Westview. Looking forward to seeing him. Getting eyes on him up close and personal is going to be a treat, I think, for a lot of folks. Unless you're from Hampton.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not sure. And here's the thing is, neither of these teams have ever won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Westview's only been here once, and I don't even know when that was.
2001.
Okay, so, 20 years ago, it's...
If you'd read my column, you'd know that.
Well...
Which you can find where?
At mainstreetmurray.com.
There you go.
But these two teams are, very good offensively. They put up a lot of points, but they also don't give up a lot. So, again, typically when we see that, in weather like this, the offense typically wins out. So I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be a pretty impressive shootout. I'm excited.
All right. So how these teams got here, we'll start with Hampton in the semis. Comeback win over Trousdale County, 22-20 last week. Before that, in the quarters, they took care of Oneida 30-7. And then over Rockwood in the second round, 47-18, and then shut out Monterey 21-0 in the opening round. Meanwhile, Westview took down Decatur Riverside on the road last week, 35-18.
That's an impressive win.
Yeah, it was. It was. Riverside only had one loss, and to go on the road in the semis is always a nice challenge. They shut out MAHS 16-0 in the quarters. Defeated Fairleigh 47-12 in the second round, and then took out Freedom Prep 42-6 in the first round. So that's how these two teams got here today. We'll have the picks of that game, the picks for the 4A game, and we'll talk about the 6A game when we come back to Chattanooga. TriStar Friday Night Live presented by the U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. We will be back after this timeout.
Hey, Toby. Toby knows comfort, whether day or night. Through the highs and the lows, Toby knows. You've put it off long enough. That old system is just out with the old, in with the new. We'll make it worthwhile all the way through. Derryberry is your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Visit DairyBerryAC.com today and schedule a visit. Dairy Berry Heat and Air, making customers for life.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir. Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay?
Tell your name, sir. Where you are right now?
506 by number 767.
I am Dr. Birdie, the founder, CEO, and president at Home Care Preference. I am a successful African American female entrepreneur in business with Wilson Bank and Trust. With the partnership that I have, the level of my dreams is the limit of that company's success. When there's strong partnership, everything is possible.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
TriStar Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by the U.S. Army. In the boots of a U.S. Army soldier, you'll move forward in your career and make a real difference in the world. Find the right fit with more than 150 occupational specialties. Learn more at usarmy.com. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, reminding you booze it and lose it. The bad decision to drive drunk will land you in jail. And by Wilson Bank and Trust. Visit wilsonbankandtrust.com for more details. Wilson Bank and Trust, proud supporter of high school sports.
And we welcome you back into TriStar Friday Night Live, presented by those fine sponsors, and we appreciate them all for helping us out this year and this week. And coming up, don't forget to join us immediately following or shortly after each game today, as we have done the previous 2 days. So after the 4A game, we'll hop on for about 15 minutes, give you some stats and some thoughts and reaction. We'll do that after the 2A game, and then, of course, to end the night as well. And all of that, those recaps brought to you by our friends at Dairy Berry's Heat and Air. And we'll have more about them coming up later this afternoon. So, all right, we've talked about the 4A game, Tullahoma, Elizabethton, the 2A game, Hampton and Westview. It is time now to talk about maybe one of the most anticipated state championship games in some years. It is Oakland and Summit, and the 6A championship coming up tonight. It's finally here. We're going to have good weather, guys. This is going to be fun. I don't know how else to put it. It's just going to be fun.
Hey, yeah, we had Justin Lamb on our show, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, yesterday afternoon, and he talked about the fact that this was a game that everybody had kind of projected, maybe.
I think so. I think they penciled it in
from the start of the year.
We penciled it in for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you knew that Oakland and Maryville would be the appetizer.
Yep.
But you just kind of felt like Summit was going to be the team to come through that West bracket, the defending Class 5A state champions, moving up. And as the season went, you just felt like they were the team to beat on that side of the state. And it certainly played out that way. And a lot of people will point to the Wade twins, and rightfully so. Probably the first siblings to both be Mr. Football finalists. I don't know that to be, but I can't think of another.
That's right.
So, but there's more to that team than them. And I think a lot of folks are going to see that tonight.
Yeah, no question. They are special, but there's plenty of other talent, Chris, around them, including Brady Pierce, who Coach Brian Coleman calls him the third member of the triplet.
That's right. They're the Wade
Right.
triplets. It might as well be. They've been playing football together since they were 5 years old.
Yeah.
The Spring Hill Coyotes won a state championship or a national championship, whatever you call it, when they were like 6 or 7 years old, behind the arm of Destin Wade.
Yep.
But boy, when he threw it up there, even at 6 and 7, Brady Pierce was usually on the other end of it. And that's a connection that you cannot teach.
Yeah.
I mean, they have just been playing together for so long. And this entire Summit team is senior laden. Their entire offensive line, the 2 deep
Wow.
of their offensive line, are
Yeah.
all seniors. Okay. The front 7 on their defense is severely underrated and has been all year, not for any other reason than just, they're overshadowed by how great the offense is. What you're going to see today is a couple of very good offenses like Jordan James, the third finalist for Mr. Football at Oakland. And, they've got Antonio Patterson, Isaiah Horton, who is supposed to go to Miami. They've got playmakers all over the field, does Oakland. So what I'm expecting tonight is to find 2 teams who are juggernauts, slugging it out like heavyweight fighters, and it's going to be as good of a football game as we've seen in Tennessee high school football in a long time.
Mo, from the Oakland perspective, and you've seen them play this year, they've been tested a couple of times. They had the CPA and the Lipscomb Academy games that they were able to put up. Of course, Riverdale had a great season. They took care of business there. They went to Lebanon, a one-loss Lebanon team on the road in the playoffs, and handled their business. Kevin Creasy certainly will have his team ready to play, and anybody that thinks about underestimating the Patriots, they better not do that.
No, this Oakland team is as good as you're going to find at any level in this state. And like you said, Kevin Creasy is going to have this team ready. They're the defending state champions. They've won it 2 of the last 3 years. He's 95-6.
Wow.
Since getting there. So, I mean, they don't lose a lot. And so that's kind of what Summit's got to deal with. There's a lot of tradition there, and it's tradition for good reason. They've had a lot of success. And these Patriots have had a lot of success. So, if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to beat them. They're not going to give it to you.
They're not going to beat themselves. No question about it. All right, how these teams got here. Oakland last week in the semis went on the road to Maryville, 24-14 winners, something that had not been done at Maryville in this millennium.
Yeah, not since 1999.
Had they lost a home playoff game. They defeated defeated Lebanon, as I mentioned, 45-20 in the quarters. Took care of Shelbyville 56-6 in the second, and then in the opening round shut out Warren County 49-0. Meanwhile, the Spartans of Summit ran through the playoffs like this. Took care of Hendersonville on the road 28-7 in the semis last week. They defeated Ravenwood, a region opponent, 48-28 in the quarters. Another region opponent, Summit, over Brentwood, 21-3 in the second round, and then took care of Houston 27-7. So over the river and through the woods, Summit made its way to the river bend here in the scenic city of Chattanooga. I was searching on that one, but I think I pulled it through.
You did.
You got it. So that's how they got here. All right, guys, let's get into our day 3 picks, and we'll start with the 4A game. Tullahoma, Elizabethton, starting at the top of the hour, 11 Eastern, 10 Central, for the 4A crown. Chris, who do you like in this one?
Oh, man, I go back and forth on this because I really feel like Tullahoma has as good of a team as we've seen in West Tennessee in 4A in the last couple of years. And
when you say West Tennessee, you mean the west side
the
of the
west
bracket.
side of the bracket. That's correct. And I mean, what How else do you say it? I guess.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. I just wanted to make sure that people aren't saying
right.
Tullahoma's not in
West
Tennessee.
Tennessee. They're only
West
90
Tennessee.
minutes from Chattanooga.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're barely in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Man, I just feel like Elizabethton is going to get it done today. Unfortunately, I'm going with the Cyclones.
All right, Mo.
I'm going with the Cyclones close. I think it's a one-possession ball game, but I think, like I said, at some point, Elizabethton's experience on the big stage at some point shows up.
I felt early on in the playoffs that there was something special with Tullahoma, even though,
and I think there is.
Yeah, I felt going into the playoffs they would get Pearl Cone in that third round, and I thought Pearl Cone would get them back because they probably felt like they should have won the first meeting. But Tullahoma dug down deep, and they have done something special. So, but I'm like you. I think Elizabethton just ekes it out. But this is going to be a fun one here today for the 4A crown.
It's worth remembering 2015, 2016, Tullahoma went 0-10.
Yeah.
Back-to-back years. And in that shorter period of time, they find themselves playing for a state title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it's remarkable
yeah.
what John Olive has done there for sure. All right, the 2A game, Westview and Hampton, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central this afternoon from Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. Chris?
Star power.
Yep.
Westview's Ty Simpson caps off a phenomenal senior season with a win in the Blue Cross Bowl. Doesn't get any better than that.
Crimson Tide gets it again, huh? They win everything.
The first ring, I'll tell you, the first ring he wins, even if he wins 4 in Tuscaloosa, so this one will be
It'll be this one. Yeah, it'll be the sweetest.
I can't see them not winning this ball game.
Okay. All right. I'm like you. I think he's going to be the difference maker, obviously, and Westview will get the win. All right, guys. 6A clash tonight. Summit, Oakland. What do you think, Chris?
Well, I've been on them all year. I'm not, for whatever reason, I'm going to make Summit make me not pick them. And for that reason, I got the Spartans.
All right. Mo?
It's not a bad pick.
I hear a butt coming.
It's not a bad pick. Oakland has won 2 of the last 3 state championships. Summit won it last year in 5A. I think that there is a little bit of a difference in 5A and 6A. And I think Oakland's experience pulls them through here. Again, I think it's probably a one-possession ball game. I picked it as a field goal game. And would not be the least bit shocked if Summit proves me wrong.
I respect your thoughts there, Mo. I do.
I hear a butt coming.
You talk about experience. I don't think they can feel the difference in the state championship experience between a number 5 or a number 6. It's just a number. I think Summit has ran through 6A class and taken care of every opponent that has been put in front of them. Granted, they haven't faced Oakland. They didn't face Maryville, but they took care of everybody else in convincing fashion. I just think the Way twins, along with the support of the triplets with Brady Pierce, I think when you've got something that special, I think that's going to be the difference. It's going to be close. I hope it's going to be close. I just think that there's something special, and they will find a way to win.
I can see that.
You're right. You can't go wrong with either.
Yeah.
Cannot go wrong with either.
I mean, I don't think that anybody looks at you like, man, you're crazy for picking either of these teams.
That's right.
So,
all right.
We'll
that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in to TriStar Friday night live from the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. Day 3 is here. 4A game at 11 Eastern, 2A game at 3 Eastern, and the 6A game at 7 Eastern.
JP?
Yes.
As I showed you, my Facebook memories today take me back to last year where we were sitting outside in the freezing rain and cold doing our show. And 1 year, what a difference 365 days makes, boys.
Amen, brother.
This is better.
This is better.
Much better. This has been a lot of fun. We appreciate you tuning in. Join us after each game today. We'll have live reaction, stats, and more here on TriStar Friday Night Live from the Blue Cross Bowl, presented by U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you later today.
TriStar Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by the U.S. Army. In the boots of a U.S. Army soldier, you'll move forward in your career and make a real difference in the world. Find the right fit with more than 150 occupational specialties. Learn more at usarmy.com. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, reminding you booze it and lose it. The bad decision to drive drunk will land you in jail. And by Wilson Bank and Trust. Visit wilsonbankandtrust.com for more details. Wilson Bank and Trust, proud supporter of high school sports.